Hello and welcome back everybody to another Dragon Age Origins Let's Play. And this is it. We're on our way to the Landsmeet. We've accumulated and stockpiled so much shit on Logain that it's time to give it to him. It's time to give it to him good. So, here we go. In the Royal Palace in the Landsmeet Chamber. Oh yeah, we get a...
My lords and ladies of the Landsmeet, Tyrn Logain would have us give up our freedoms, our traditions, out of fear. He placed us on this path, yet we should place our destiny in his hands? Must we sacrifice everything good about our nation to save it?
A fine performance, Aemon. But no one here is taken in by it.
I am.
You would attempt to put a puppet on the throne, and every soul here knows it. The better question is who will pull the strings.
Ah! Here we have the puppeteer.
Tell us, Warden. How will the Orlesians take our nation from us? Will they deign to send their troops, or simply issue their commands through this would-be prince? What do they offer you? How much is the price of Ferelden honor now?
I'm not the one who betrayed Ferelden.
Some of us are curious, Logain, about precisely what happened at Ostagar.
So, one of Kaelin's killers would dare speak of betrayal. You led our king to his death with your grandiose tales of griffins flying into battle.
You allowed Rendon Howe to imprison and torture innocents. You sold Ferelden citizens into slavery to fund your war.
The Warden speaks truly. My son was taken under cover of night. The things done to him, some of them are beyond any healer's skill.
Howe was responsible for himself. He will answer to the Maker for any wrongs committed in this life, as must we all. But you know that. You were the one who murdered him. Whatever Howe may have done, he should have been brought before the Seneschal. There is no justice in butchering a man in his home.
I would disagree. How can you think that? Is there justice in selling elves?
Selling elves? Explain this, Logain.
This is war. Did you believe it would be like the old tales? Knights with pennants flying over battlefields where all outcomes are decided simply and with honor. War is cruel. Every soul who fought alongside Marek knows this. And in it, there are no such things as innocence, only the living and the dead, and the degrees of guilt both bear. Sacrifices were made. If they were too great, the Maker will judge me for it.
Oh my god.
But enough of this. I have a question for you, Warden. What have you done with my daughter?
What have I done with her? I've protected her from you.
You took my daughter, our queen, by force, killing her guards in the process. What arts have you employed to keep her? Does she even still live?
I believe I can speak for myself. Lords and ladies of Ferelden, hear me. My father is no longer the man you know. This man is not the hero of Riverdane. This man turned his troops aside and refused to protect your king as he fought bravely against the Darkspawn. This man seized Kaelin's throne before his body was cold and locked me away so I could not reveal his treachery. I would have already been killed, if not for this Grey Warden.
The Queen speaks the truth.
So, the Warden's influence has poisoned even your mind, Enora. I wanted to protect you from this.
My lords and ladies! Our land has been threatened before! It's been invaded and lost and won times beyond counting. We Fereldans have proven that we will never truly be conquered so long as we are united. We must not let ourselves be divided now. Stand with me, and we shall defeat even the Blight itself!
The Warden! I'm with the Warden.
Aha.
Southreach stands with the Grey Wardens.
The Warden helped me personally in a family matter.
Waking Sea stands with the Grey Warden.
Dragon's Peak supports the Warden!
Western Hills is with you, Loghain. Maker, help us.
Fool.
I stand by Loghain. We've no hope of victory otherwise.
You're insane.
I stand with the Warden. The Blight is coming. We need the Grey Wardens.
Hell yeah. The Landsmeet is against you, Loghain. Step down gracefully.
Traitors! Which of you stood against the Orlesian Emperor when his troops flattened your fields and raped your wives? You fought with us once, Eamon. You cared about this land once. Before you got too old and fat and content to even see what you risk. None of you deserve a say in what happens here. None of you have spilled blood for this land the way I have. How dare you judge me?
Call off your men, or we'll settle this honorably.
Then, let us end this. I suppose we both knew it would come to this. When we first met at Ostagar, I would never have thought so, but Ostagar seems like it happened in another lifetime to someone else. A man is made by the quality of his enemies. Marek told me that once. I wonder if it's more a compliment to you or me. Enough! Let the Landsmeet declare the terms of the duel.
It shall be fought according to tradition. A test of arms, in single combat until one party yields. And we, who are assembled, will abide by the outcome.
Will you face me yourself, or have you a champion?
Alistair is my champion.
Then let us test the mettle of our would-be king. Prepare yourself.
Alistair will have his retribution. And he will kill Loghain, or beat him in honorable combat.
We are not alone.
You will fall!
Not alone. Oh, thank you. That's very nice.
This is a very odd time for you to be doing this, Alistair. The sound bites are in our favor at the moment. Oh, look it up, Alistair.
Take my sword!
So, there is some of Marek in you after all. Good.
Forget Marek. This is for Duncan.
Kill him. Oh my. Oh, that she's covered in her dad's fucking blood. And now.
So it is decided. Alistair will take his father's throne.
Wait, what? No. When did this get decided? Nobody's decided that. Have they?
He refuses the throne. Everyone here has heard him. I think it's clear then. He abdicates in favor of me.
I hardly think you're the appropriate person to mediate this, Enora. Warden, will you help us?
I want to speak with Alistair, with Enora first.
Certainly.
Are you prepared for this? Are you sure this is what you want?
I have never had the smallest doubt.
I'd like to speak to Alistair as well.
Strange. I feel like I'm back at the Abbey, trying not to get chosen last for the sparring teams.
Should I choose Enora, Alistair?
She seems to want it anyway. I know I don't.
So... yes? Maybe? I don't know.
I'm ready to choose.
As the arbiter of this dispute, what is your decision? Who will lead Ferelden?
Queen Anora. I shall rule at Anora's side as her husband.
My husband, the king consort, the general of my armies, and the hero who will save Ferelden from this blight. My first act as queen must be to insist on receiving Alistair's oath before all the lands meet, to relinquish all claim to the throne for himself and his heirs.
Oh, I never wanted it. I mean, yes, of course. Happily, in fact.
And now, lords and ladies of Ferelden, there is still a blight to defeat and armies to gather, and I appoint this man to lead us in both. We will not allow this land be further threatened by the archdemon. Gather your forces and await the Warden's command. On the morrow, we shall begin our struggle against the greatest threat Ferelden has ever faced, and we shall triumph over it, for we are Ferelden.
King Cleo! King Cleo! King Cleo! I think it's about time I finally became a king, honestly. Even if it isn't a virtual game and it's not even really me, but that's okay.
So it's done. My father is dead.
That is true.
I never thought he would go so far. I never thought it would end like it did. Such a waste.
I'm sorry, I wish it could have been otherwise.
It could have been. But what is done is done. My father had no illusions about the consequences of his actions, and neither do I. Al-Eamon has left for Redcliffe, and tells me that our armies have almost fully gathered there. I will be heading there myself.
Very good.
Bring your companions, and join us at Redcliffe Castle as soon as you are able. You have united Ferelden, Warden. Now we face the blight.
Very true. The final battle. You see, this is what it's all been leading up to, guys. This is insane. Man, like really insane. Okay. Let me put that, because I think now this should be like knock people down. Like you saw in that battle against him, like that might like knock people down now, so.
I got a moment. Sure.
I'd like to know more
what about? All right.
Wow. This is insane.
We're out of eggs. Oh, and now his lordship's left again. We've barely got the house in order and he's gone.
Scullion?
We had a whole wagon load of potatoes.
Oh, look. It is win. Oh, I forgot they gave you like little.
This is a nice estate. What's on your mind?
And this is a nice estate. Do you have any regrets at all?
I try not to dwell too much on the mistakes of my past, of which there are many. I would go quite mad if I did that.
True.
But I do have one regret. The greatest misstep of my life. Made even more grave because it had dire consequences for someone else.
Tell me, it might make you feel better.
Years ago, I was assigned as mentor to a lad, Anarin. He was my first apprentice. Anarin was an elf, raised in one of the elven alienages, and he was very mistrustful of humans, especially humans in authority.
Humans like you?
I was his mentor, an authority figure. He can't have liked me very much. What Anarin needed was time. Time to get used to his new home, time to emerge from his shell, so we could build a rapport. I gave him no such time. I was young and arrogant. He is a mage, I thought. He needs to grow up and act like one. I expected too much from him too quickly. I gave no consideration to his origin or his feelings, and he retreated further from me. All I could think of was how stubborn he was, how he was throwing away all his talent and his potential, just to be difficult.
And what did you do?
Oh, I dread to think. I was a harsh taskmistress. He might have thought I was a demon in disguise. You cannot plant crops in the cold, wintry ground. You cannot teach a student who is closed off and unresponsive. Patience is what is needed, and I learned that too late to help him.
What happened to him?
Anarin ran away from the circle one night. I had berated him over some trivial, ridiculous matter that I no longer remember. I drove him away because of something utterly unimportant. He was a child, 14 at the time of his leaving. They had his phylactery, and they hunted him down.
Why didn't they just bring him back to the tower?
They called him Maleficar, a mage who practices forbidden magic, deserving of death. He was a child, misunderstood and lost. I begged the Templars to tell me if he suffered, if they gave him a quick death. I got no answers from them. I was his mentor, and they wouldn't even tell me what became of him.
It's not your fault, Lynn.
I should have known better. I had the best mentors. They were kind, compassionate. Why didn't I learn from them? I failed in Aaron. All I had to do was listen to him. He would try to talk to me, and I would tell him to concentrate on his spells. He talked about the alienage sometimes, and the Dalish. He always talked about looking for the Dalish elves.
Maybe he did find the Dalish.
The Templars are well trained and thorough. That he still lives, it would be a vain hope. The apprentices that came after Anarin benefited greatly from the lessons I learned from him. In a sense, he was my teacher, and I his student.
See, there is a
and
bright
there
side.
It is. My story, my one greatest regret.
Wow. Wynn's regret. There's a quest to go with that? An alienage apartment you found with an antique... Oh. Okay, well. That got really off track. Who the fuck are you?
His lordship has gone on to Redcliffe.
But this is pretty... They got sidetracked there, like, massively. But yeah, Lansmeet is over. Loghain dead. I am going to be king of Ferelden, but it's just going to be... Wonder what she has to say. If she has anything.
If one more what comes?
Okay, because apparently we're friends, but we were, like, in a relationship or whatever. But, you know what? Good spot to leave off, guys. We're going to go ahead and pick this back up in Redcliffe. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next part when we work towards the final battle. See ya.